It's Raquel from Recovery to Wellness, and it's currently July 1st, 2022. And I just wanted to hop on because I was looking through. What was I looking through? I was looking at something. I think I was looking through some of my videos on my channel, which is this one right here. And I want to do like a to the viewer from Recovery Raquel kind of video and just kind of talk a little bit. So, hi, I'm Raquel. I'm 28 and I have a doggo and I like doing art and I do hauls on my channel and I talk about my mental health recovery and the different types of conditions that I live with and just sort of how I get through and overcoming that and going from one pole of recovery to the other pole of wellness and just kind of maintaining my stability and things to that effect. And I just wanted to say, as Recovery Raquel, so Recovery Raquel is essentially, well, it was my Twitter for a while, and then Recovery Raquel is sort of like the persona because it goes with Recovery Home. So it's something I made up. There's like 4 main art projects that are all about recovery and like peer support and like art and like hopefully inspiring people and like sharing art and like telling people stories via sharing art. So Recovery Raquel is like the person, one of the projects. There's Recovery Home, there's Recovery Restoration, and there's Recovery Reinforcer. So this would sort of be like a video format of Recovery Reinforcer in a sense. So, but recovery personas come up from are the version of you that lives in your recovery home. Your recovery home being sort of the imaginative dream state of what it looks like to be doing well in recovery, and whether that's recovery from substance use disorders or eating disorders or depression or suicidality or self-harm or anything like that. So it's like ultimately like what would that house look like who would be like living near you, like what would be like the look of the house, would there be any like fancy things on the outside of the house, or how would it be decorated, what would the front door look like it's all of these things that I've made up in my head, so that eventually one day I want to make it like a workbook and stuff and like have that be some sort of interactive kind of thing, and like other people can help and like, you know, make their own recovery homes. Like that's been a dream of mine since like 2016, 2015 maybe even. Yeah, probably 2015 to be honest. I think Recovery Home is from that era, and it would all be about like essentially like the idea behind Recovery Home is to, if I have the choice between thinking about all the horrible things in life and, you know, especially ending of life, or I could think about how I want to design my own future home and what would that dream home look like and what would me in that recovery space look like. I'd rather do that. Like if I can choose that, which I think I can choose, like choosing it in the sense of like choosing my reaction to it. Like, no, I think I'm gonna still like make my front door look like this, or I'm gonna have a room just full of books and like, I don't know. I like homes and stuff a lot, and like houses and like interior design and things like that. Like I don't know, I find that very interesting. Like looking at people's like desk space and interesting things like that. So I didn't think I was going to talk about that, but essentially recovery persona then is the recovery and then whatever your name is. So for me it's Recovery Raquel, and Recovery Raquel is like my dream self, like my most authentic self, and like the version of me, like all the good parts of me, and like just being like an example and like a role model, because like that's what I want to do in a sense. That's the meaning and reason behind so much of the stuff that I do online and even in real life. And I think I want to add more doses of hope and like little sprinkling bits and pieces of hope in even shorter formats on video and on YouTube. to really grow my channel more, and also just to reach out to more people and have maybe people reach back out to me and we can have a community. Like, it does happen. Other people have it, so it has to be possible, right? But yeah, so let me just, maybe I'll just talk about in this clip, I'll just talk about some of my recovery projects. So recovery home is essentially the dream house. Like, what skills would you need to be fully in recovery, and what would the house look like? Where would the house be located? Like, what is the town like? Or is it a village, or is it on a mountain, or all of these things. That's recovery home, essentially. And the workbook, I would think, each chapter would sort of add another room thing, or like a detail or whatever. So I think that'd be a really cool thing to do. So that's recovery home. Then we have recovery persona. So recovery persona is who you are and who lives in that recovery home, and like what qualities does that mean? Like what strengths do I have right now, and what are my weaknesses, and how can I improve on them? Like, how can I get those to be strengths and like wield them in a different way? And also being like a role model, being an example, and trying to have a larger picture beyond just oneself, and like what the support network looks like, and just all of that. Then there is recovery reinforcer. So recovery reinforcer is probably the newest one. I think I came up with it in 2020, I think like 2020. Recovery reinforcer is essentially, it's a lot like my positive messages things, which I have not done in a long time. I should totally film about that. If you're interested in seeing me do some more positive messages things, definitely let me know. If you don't know what that is, I would make statements and quotes and drawings, little things on scraps of paper, and then give them out to random people, in like public and everything. So. But recovery reinforcer is essentially that, but just in a card format. And then the goal would be to like dear human, and then like, or dear human, and then write out whatever the card would say, and then from recovery reinforcer, like sincerely recovery reinforcer. And then the dream for me, I would dream that I would be able to donate that as like peer support stuff for people in a psychiatric setting, and then they can kind of get. So that would be that would essentially be recovery reinforcer, which could be like video formats and stuff too, like even like graphic designs or something like that. It's kind of like recovery reinforcer. So that's that. And then the fourth one is recovery restoration, which is more about the self-advocacy part of it, where it's like using visual mediums, telling your story of how you went through mental health recovery and your journey through that. Like, say if it's like a drawing, have like a picture of the drawing on the back of it, right? Like why you made that drawing, what it means to you, what does it represent, like all of that. And then have that all compiled together in like little photo albums, and then donate those to inpatient psych units, and then like have that be like, other people being inspired through art, or like, music, or like songs and stuff like that, or lyrics, and, the hope in a sense. So those are my projects that I haven't worked on. I've since the pandemic, I haven't worked on them really. I've used recovery reinforcer. I've essentially done that at work at Althea, but I called it something different. I called it, like the positivity pocket was kind of that, and then also like what am I thinking? Time capsule of hope. That's what I called it instead. Because again, like recovery reinforcer too, it can be, you write yourself a card to find. If you hide it somewhere, you find it later. Like, it could be the next day, it could be 6 months from now, it could be a year from now. But like writing yourself notes of like, because you know yourself best. So like write yourself a note of like what you need to hear when you need to hear it, and then actually when you do need to hear it, go for that card and read it back, and then It's like your future self, your present self, preparing yourself for your future self to be nicer to your past self. So this is my projects. Again, I haven't really worked on them at all since the pandemic, but I should definitely get more into that again, because that would be really cool. I'm gonna end this. I'll end this clip here. I didn't expect to talk about that, but I think I'm gonna do another video, and then I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't scripted this, so but I'm gonna do a separate video real quick. So as always, I guess that was interesting, maybe, and then I'll do another. I think I'll do a clip where I talk to you and like reinforce your recovery. And so as always, stay safe, take care, be well, much love and light to you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.
I can see a lighthouse through the smoke. Everything is lost, I know.